It is dusty, brother. Oh gosh. Hello and welcome. My name is Anthony and today we're here to talk about all the books that I actually forgot were on my shelf. This might not come as a surprise to a lot of you. I don't really read a lot from my physical TBR for some reason. I tend to veer towards books that I am more intrigued with or that are more recent, and my brain just automatically grabs those instead of actually reading from my physical TBR, of which I have a lot of books. So I'm going to talk about all the books that I kind of forgot even existed on my shelf, but they do, and I need to get to them. First up, I have the entire Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This one was actually super popular when it came out, and I got this fairly recently, I would say last year, but I totally forgot this existed on my shelf. This has been talked about widely. This has been loved so much, but I just never got around to actually picking it up, and I kind of forgot about it even being on this one shelf because it is very crammed. If you didn't know, my shelf is pretty crammed, so I just didn't notice it, unfortunately. There's like alien vibes going on, if I'm not wrong. I don't know if it's sci-fi or not. Like, I thought it was vampires for some reason. But it's aliens, and it's like aliens from like different galaxies that are coming into this world and then fighting for some reason. I don't really know. I'm not too sure what this is about exactly, but I've heard so many wonderful things. And this is also a special collector's edition, so that's why it shines. Did I even know? No, I didn't. It's just here, and I have the entire series. I don't even know which one is the first book because I think like 2 or 3 books are like merged into one. This one has like obsidian and onyx in here, and the other one has opal and origin in here, so it's like merged together into like one book, but I didn't know. I haven't read it. Next up is a very beloved favorite of so many people, and I was very excited to get this, and I totally forgot that I had the entire trilogy, the Red Rising trilogy. I have the first 3 books. I think it has more of a series now. I think there's more books to the series. The Red Rising by Pierce Brown has been expanding quite a bit. Do I know what it's about? Kind of not. So my understanding, these people are kind of enslaved in this really bad situation, and it is a sci-fi. That's probably why I kind of deleted it from my brain that it existed. So I don't know, like, because I really wanted to read it as an audiobook too. Searched for it, never really got one, so I was just like, yeah, you know, let's forget about it for a little while, and I completely forgot about it. So I have the series with me, just haven't gotten to it. I've heard so many wonderful things about the series. So many people have adored it so dearly, and I still haven't gotten to it, even though I have the entire series. So yay me, I guess. The funny part of this whole video is that most of these books are pretty recent too. Like, I got them last year. Forgot about them. Foundryside by Robert Jackson Bennett. This one has been talked about and raved about for so long. That's why I got it in the first place. Totally forgot. I was just looking at my shelf yesterday and I was like, wait, I own Foundryside? My dumbass literally forgot that it existed on my shelf too. Like, I think the more reasonable excuse for me for getting this is this was not the pretty cover. So my brain was like, I don't have it, you know what I mean? So that's probably why, which is a terrible reasoning. But this has the whole trope of someone stealing something and running with it as quickly as possible to save themselves. There are people hunting her for that particular thing, which is kind of like, I think it has like magical powers to it. It's like an artifact with a lot of secrets. So I'm assuming it has a few magical powers to it. I'm not 100% sure on that. There are people who are hunting for her. She has no idea who these people are. Like, it could literally be the stranger on the road and she would not know because it's an unknown enemy to her. And so she's totally freaking out. She's trying to escape this whole situation. It is insane, and I feel like it's going to be very much action-packed, and I'm very excited to read it, but your girl forgot I had it. This next book I've actually read, but I kind of forgot that I had it, is Heretics Anonymous by Katie Henry. I really enjoyed reading this book. I think I've read it 2 years ago, if I'm not wrong, and I did enjoy it. It was a good book. I've really not talked that much about this book on my channel. We have this guy who's an atheist who's going to this Catholic school, and he ends up meeting this girl at St. Clair named Lucy, and essentially they strike up this friendship. He is invited to this group of outcasts from St. Clair called Heretics Anonymous. The people in this group can totally be themselves without really thinking thinking too much about the consequences. So Michael can be his atheist self. Lucy can be a straight up feminist without having any issues. She can be an outspoken feminist. Avi, another person, is a Jewish guy and he's also gay. Max can wear whatever he wants to wear, and Eden can also practice paganism. So there's so many different things that these characters have in their hearts, but they can't really express themselves in St. Clair because it is a very Catholic school, and there's a good chance they can't be reprimanded for the things that they believe in. And so Heretics Anonymous is this group of outcasts who get together just to be themselves, and that is pretty much the entire story, and they're just living out their lives. It's really good. I really did enjoy it, and I got this because of Emma from Emma Books, and I really loved it. It was great. But I forgot that I actually bought it. In my head, I thought I just read it, but I didn't have it as a physical copy, but I did. So that was pretty nice to see. I hope one day I can actually reread this because it was very humorous from what I can remember. I did have a few moments where I actually laughed out loud, so I think this was a really good book. Definitely recommend. Okay, this next book is a sequel to the first book, Three Dark Crowns, which I had read, and this is a One Dark Throne by Kendra Blake. I had read Three Dark Crowns. I was okay with it. I actually liked it, but I didn't know I liked it enough to actually get the second book. Who does that? It was a fine book, but I don't think it was brilliant. I thought there were so many things that they had which was very cliche from what I can remember. I think there were like 3 princesses, if I'm not wrong, who were born on the same day. So they're triplets, right? And they got separated, and each one of them are fighting for the crown, and each of them have different elemental powers. They kind of have to fight each other to get the crown. That's basically the entire story, right? I think it's a trilogy too. And the first one, I think the last 40-50 pages were exciting, but the rest of it was like very mediocre. And I got the second book. Like, seriously, who does that? That is the stupidest decision I've ever made. And I have not read this book, so I don't know, man. I'm concerned for my mental health, honestly, at this point. Who knows what's going on in here? Like, I just buy books at random because I think that is a good idea. This was not even a discounted purchase, was it? I paid full price. Oh, hi there, what's good? I have read this entire series, but it is the Kiss of Deception series. I forget what it's called, to be honest. The Kiss of Deception, Heart of Betrayal, and Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson. The Remnant Chronicles. It's called The Remnant Chronicles. I have read the entire trilogy, and I remember liking it. I enjoyed the first book a little bit. Like, it was fine. The second book was pretty good. The third was exciting. Like, I actually enjoyed the third one from what I can remember. This has the trope of the girl being super weak in the beginning, and then she like finds herself as like so strong now. Like, pretty sure it had that trope, and I was not living for it in the first book. But I think she, as a character, the main character, definitely grew as a person, which I was very excited to see. So basically, Princess Leia steals some secret documents from the Chancellor and runs away on the day of her wedding. So this wedding was actually set up between her and someone else for a political alliance, and she does not want that at all. She ends up running, and we don't really hear from her, basically, right? So she's just trying to escape into this like distant village, and she's arrived there and is basically trying to act very common. But the issue is that the person she was supposed to marry was actually there, and also there's an assassin sent who is supposed to kill her that's also in among this common people, right? And so obviously our princess is in a lot of trouble. She doesn't even know that they're actually there, I think, and then there's so many lies that are being told. She's trying to get through all these deceptions and everything, and you know, the kiss of deception, that's pretty much it. There's a lot of deception. It was a good series. I did enjoy while I read it. I was like 19 or 20 when I read these books. I really did enjoy them at the time, at least. Except the first one, I did enjoy the other two. So they were good books. Just forgot I had them. Literally just figured that I had this book. Beyond the Shadows by Brent Weeks. I have read a couple of books by Brent Weeks. Really enjoyed them. But they're super long. They're all fantasies. But even though they're exciting, they're so long. It's so much to commit to. And I had gotten this book. Just never realized I had it. I don't even know what this is. Third book in the series. Why did I probably thrifted this. I don't remember. I'm not going to read what it says because I'm pretty sure it's the third book in the series. It's a trilogy if I'm not wrong. And obviously, I don't know what the series is about. So, I don't know, man. I just got this book. Don't judge me. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna end it there because otherwise there's gonna be a lot of judgment, and that's not very good, is it? So yeah, those are all the books that I had on my shelf, just never really realized I had any of them, unfortunately. Some of them I did read, which is a good thing, I guess. At least I have read them. Anyway, those are all the books that I wanted to talk about for today. That is it from me. I'll see you all next time with another one. Until then, I'll talk to you all in the comments. Bye!